Om Shanti. Good morning, Diamond Morning. Today Baba is teaching us about the philosophy of karma. And one would realize that this spiritual knowledge helps us to really understand spirituality and apply it in our everyday life so that we can improve the quality of our lives. And when we have the knowledge of the self, knowing the self, it enables us to be detached from all the physical factors and their limitations. When we know God and recognize God, it enables us to create a very deep love link of love with God and draw the powers and virtues from the source. And when we can understand the deep philosophy of karma, we are able to settle the debts of the past karmas and perform such actions that we are able to make our actions elevated at this present time. So let's listen to Baba's sweet versions of the 23rd of March 2022. In the essence, Baba says, sweet children, be very careful that none of your actions are sinful. Before performing any action, take Srimad from the Father. Question. Who can be saved from performing sinful actions? Which children receive help from the Father? Very beautiful answer, Baba says. Those who are constantly honest with the Father and have no thoughts of taking back the donation of the vices they gave in their promise to the Father are saved from performing sinful actions. The Father's help is received by those who take advice before any of their actions become a sinful action. They tell the corporeal father their news accurately. Baba says, children, you must never hide your illness from the surgeon. If you hide your sins, they increase. Your status will be destroyed, and you will also have to experience punishment. And the song of Baba's Murli. Do not forget the days of your childhood. Om Shanti. You children heard the song in which the Father cautions the children. O children, you have now come to belong to God. You know that you are the children of God. The whole world believes that that one is God the Father. Father means we are his children. Only his children will call him the Supreme Father. You are children of worldly parents, and you now have become children of the Father from beyond. Why? Why have we become children of the Father from beyond? To claim your inheritance of unlimited happiness from the unlimited Father. The Father is the creator of heaven. There is definitely the kingdom of deities in heaven. You became Baba's children after coming to know this. If a king does not have children, he adopts one. They would only be adopted by wealthy people. No one would ever be adopted by pure parents. Only when there is some benefit would a child be adopted. You now know that you belong to God. You will receive the kingdom of heaven from him. You should never forget such a father, and you should follow his directions. You continue to perform sinful actions by following the dictates of Ravan. You must not be influenced by those vices. If you find that you are being deceived, you must instantly take directions from Baba. Before your actions become simple actions, you must ask, Baba, Can we do this? It would be then explained to you that you must never become body conscious. You must consider yourselves to be souls and continue to follow the directions of the Supreme Father, the Supreme Soul, at every step. If ever something is not understood, then tell Baba. What we have to tell Baba? I have fallen in love with so-and-so. I am influenced by lust. Baba says, many storms will come, but you must not. Baba says, many storms will come, but you must look after yourself. If you fall into the gutter, you forget the unlimited Father and dirty your face. Baba has come to make you beautiful. This is why you must never get trapped in the 5 vices. You become trapped when you become body conscious. If you remain soul conscious, you would have fear of Baba. That is, in brackets, be fearful of performing sinful actions. Since you have already donated the vices, if you indulge in vice, you accumulate a lot of sin. If you take back what you have donated, your state will become the same as is remembered of King Harishchandra. King Harishchandra, on the path of devotion, took back his donation, and the sin was such that he had to become a cremator, and his wife had to pay him to cremate his own son. So Baba says, here, it is no question of donating money. Here you have to donate the 5 vices. Donate the thorns and and don't ever use them again. If you want to take them back, you must tell Baba about it. If you don't tell Baba, your sins continue to increase. If you continue to indulge in vice again and again, by telling Baba about it, you receive help. We are Shiv Baba's children. We have promised the Father that we will never be defeated. This boxing is to conquer the enemy. The 5 vices. This boxing is to conquer the enemy, the 5 vices. We will never be defeated by those. If you fall, Shiv Baba would know about it instantly. You have received orders to write to the corporeal Father. By not writing to him, your sinful actions continue to increase, and you will have to experience 100-fold punishment. By telling Baba, it will be reduced by half. There are many children who do not give Baba their news because they are too ashamed to do so. When a patient has a bad illness, his conscience bites if he doesn't tell the surgeon. What would the surgeon say? What would the outcome be? The illness would increase. The Father explains, children, if you perform any sinful actions, you must not hide it. Otherwise, your status will be completely destroyed, and you will receive a low status for cycle after cycle. You will not be able to take knowledge again. Some children ask Baba what their state will be. Firstly, they will experience a lot of punishment. All your karmic accounts are settled at the time of settlement. Just as people sacrifice themselves at Kashi, so you are now truly sacrificing yourselves to Shiva. You belong to Shiva. Why do we belong to Shiva? Baba says, in order to claim your inheritance. But people who sacrifice themselves at Kashi are actually committing suicide. They sacrifice themselves by doing intense devotion. They experience punishment for the sinful actions they have performed. They have their sins absorbed in that way. However, they cannot be liberated from committing further sins. Only with the fire of yoga can your sins be burnt away. In the kingdom of Maya, their actions are sinful, whereas in the golden age, there are no sinful actions. Why there are no sinful actions in the golden age? Because there is no kingdom of Maya there. The whole world is now corrupt. The number one corruption is to indulge in vice. Those who are born through corruption only perform sinful actions. This is the kingdom of Ravan. People burn an effigy of Ravan, but they do not know what Ravan is. The five vices are called Ravan. Those vices do not exist in heaven. This is why it is called, heaven is called the viceless world, because the five vices do not exist there. There is no other kingdom or land there. Those of Islam and the Buddhists all come later. They too are Satopradhan at first. Then they go through the stages of Raju and Tamu. In the golden and silver ages, you are completely viceless. Then, gradually, you became completely vicious. It takes time to become vicious. In the golden age, you were 16 celestial degrees full, then 14 celestial degrees, and then your degrees continue to decrease because it was the descending stage. It is now your ascending stage. Rama brings the ascending stage and Ravan brings the descending stage. Just as the degrees of the moon gradually decrease, so too the world is like that. Now, no degrees remain. The Father comes at such a time and makes you 16 celestial degrees full. The whole play is based on Bharat. The clans are also based on Bharat. How else would there be the calculation of 84 births? The Father explains. This is the Iron-aged world. It is now the end of the Iron Age, and it will then be the beginning of the Golden Age. Those who belong to the deity religion and have become corrupt in their religion and actions will come once again. You came, did you not? Look, at the end, Brahma is standing at the top of the tree. Beneath the tree, there are Tamopradhan. Beneath the tree, they are Tamopradhan and doing tapasya in order to become Satopradhan. Just as Brahma is doing tapasya, so the Brahma Kumars and Kumaris too are doing it. The Supreme Soul enters the Brahma, who is becoming Satopradhan, and gives his own introduction. He tells Brahma, and he also tells the children. What he tells Brahma and the children? Baba and you children are doing tapasya beneath the kalpa tree in order to become deities. That temple is your accurate non-living memorial. Of course, Baba is referring to the Derwala temple. If a child is clever, he can give the accurate history and geography of the temple. That is, it is the highest on high temple. There are Mama and Baba, and also the children who are doing tapasya. When foreigners hear the history and the geography of those who made Bharat into heaven, they will say this is the temple of our Father who makes Bharat into heaven. He is here in a practical form at this time. No one knows this. All of those pictures have been created out of blind faith. It is called worship of the elements, the worship of dawns. The Guru Nanak soul, who established the Sikh religion, was a new soul. He was viceless. Where did that soul come from? He must definitely have entered someone's body. A pure soul cannot experience sorrow. First of all, he has to experience happiness. and later he experiences sorrow. When a soul has not yet performed a sinful action, why should he experience sorrow? We are perfect at first, and then our degrees gradually decrease. It is the same with each human being. People call out. And how do people call out? O purifier, come. Therefore, he would surely come and establish the pure world and destroy the impure world. It is said that establishment takes place through Brahma and that destruction takes place through Shankar. Baba explains everything so clearly. This will only fit in the intellects of those who belong to the deity religion. This is why Baba says, give this knowledge to the devotees. None of them knows that they first belonged to the deity religion and that they then became devilish. Lakshmi and Narayan have taken the full 84 births. You have now become Brahmins from Shudras. Those who come later will not become Brahmins. These things will only sit in the intellects of those whose intellects they sat a cycle ago. Otherwise, as soon as they go out, everything ends. Effort is required in this. In other places, they simply listen to religious stories from the scriptures, and then, as soon as they go home, they indulge in vice. They do not follow their gurus fully. So how can they be called followers? The gurus do not say anything to them either. If they were to say something, not a single one would remain a follower. So how would they, that is the gurus, earn their living? They only eat that which is given to them by householders. So they have to take birth to vicious people. Deities do not become renunciates. This renunciation belongs to the family path, whereas their renunciation, referring to the sannyasis, belongs to the path of isolation. The father comes and explains to both husband and wife. What he says to both husband and wife: children, if you become completely pure, you will claim a very high status in the kingdom. If you become less pure, you will claim a lower status. You have to follow the mother and father. The father says, make effort like the mother and father do, and you will be able to claim the throne. The main thing is purity. You must now renounce body consciousness. The soul says, I am a soul, and Baba has come to take me back home. Only by becoming pure will you become the masters of the pure world. People speak of the Kumbh Mela. That is the meeting of the three rivers. They call it a confluence. In fact, this confluence is the meeting of the many rivers with the ocean, and we are the many rivers. Baba is the ocean. All of you are rivers of knowledge, and the Father is the ocean of knowledge. The Father says, have yoga with me, and you will become pure from impure. You have to die anyway. You must claim your inheritance from the Father. It is only at this time that you can receive from God the fruit of your devotion. Otherwise, it would be understood that He would not perform any. It would be understood that you have not performed any devotion. Only those who have performed devotion will come and claim their fortune of the kingdom. The Father explains so clearly. All others only have the scriptures in their intellects. Here the Father, the ocean of knowledge, is explaining. So you are becoming, what are we becoming? By listening to this knowledge, Baba is explaining and applying it. Baba says you are becoming the most elevated human beings. So much effort is required to establish a kingdom. There are many obstacles in the sacrificial fire of the knowledge of Rudra, Acha, Oki, to the sweetest, beloved, long lost and now found children. Love, remembrance, and good morning from the mother, the father, Bapdada. The spiritual father says, Namaste to the spiritual children, and the spiritual children say, Namaste to the spiritual father. Essence for Dharana points to practice for today. First point, never get trapped in vice by becoming body conscious. In order for your actions not to be sinful, in order for your actions not to be sinful, take advice from the Father. Second point, follow the mother and father. In order to claim a very high status, you must become completely pure. And Baba's blessing for today, very interesting blessing here. Baba is saying, may you be bodiless and claim a certificate of passing with honors with your detached stage. With your detached stage. In order to claim a certificate of passing with honors, you have to practice having the stage of being an embodiment of peace, of staying beyond sound with your mouth and your mind. Let the soul be merged in the ocean of peace. This experience of sweet silence is very lovely, for both the body and mind receive rest in this stage. At the end, it will be this practice of being bodiless that will be used. Whatever games your body plays, just observe the parts your body plays whilst being bodiless and detached. This stage will make you victorious by the end. And Baba's slogan for today, in order to attain a right to all virtues and all powers, be obedient. Om Shanti. And the Murli continues with invaluable versions, elevated versions of Madheshwari, Mama. The theme is annihilation never takes place on earth. That is, total destruction never takes place on earth. Annihilation never takes place on earth. When people think that annihilation definitely takes place on earth at some point, they consider annihilation to be something like a universal flood taking place. A new world is established, and they show the beginning of the new world, of how Shri Krishna came into the world, floating on a paper leaf, sucking his big toe. They show the creation of the world beginning in this way. And they have made up the story. It's not literally like this. This is something to think about. When we say annihilation means everything was flooded, it means there wasn't a single person left on earth. People do not know what annihilation really means. The accurate meaning of annihilation is that there is annihilation of impurity in the world that has made people so unhappy. The world then becomes pure. The Tamoguni world changes and becomes the Satoguni world. This means annihilation doesn't take place on earth, but it is annihilation of the devilish defects that takes place. It isn't that there is annihilation of people. If there were annihilation of the world, should we then think that God's versions of the Gita, in which God said that the world continues eternally, are false? The old Tamoguni world is definitely destroyed, and the new Satakuni world is established. So the task of destruction and establishment continue at the same time. We cannot say there is annihilation of the world. Heaven and hell are established on this earth. But when it is heaven, hell does not exist. And when it is hell, heaven does not exist. Heaven is where pure deities reside, and hell is the land of mortality, where it is the residence of impure human souls. So understand that it is the annihilation of impurity that takes place. Om Shanti. So Baba is giving us such a lesson that we have to destroy our own defects and weaknesses. And that is the annihilation he's talking about. Do have a very powerful day in Baba's sweet remembrance.